We got our coffees. Oh shit, there we go. All right, can you hear yourself?
Yes.
All right, you ready for this? You're not?
Are you gonna sing?
Yo, welcome back. No. That would be funny if I start out every episode with a rap. No, this is just the intro music.
Did you make this with Colin?
No, that's actually I just made the beat, but it's a drum beat by Logan Deweese.
Oh, nice.
You have to scoot that mic a little closer to you. You can you can even pull the bass around closer to you so that you can
What about
look
that?
at me and talk. There you go. I mean, yeah, you kind of want to be like right up on it.
Okay.
I got a super expensive microphone set up, and we're using the cheapest ones I have because that's what we got right now set up. Just pull it a little closer to your mouth.
I think it is close. This is fine.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Okay, I got a little intro I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Mining in the Foothills, where I am on the search for dialectic gold with doers from around the Midwest. I am Wes from Wally Opus, and my guest today is Wally Luttrell, a sophomore real estate agent at Southwest Indiana's top real estate brokerage, based on units sold, Dauby Real Estate. In the spring of 2020, just as COVID crept its way into American life, Chloe left her job fundraising in nonprofits to pursue a career in real estate. After 2 attempts at passing her real estate exam, she joined the Dauby team of Keller Williams, which is now Dauby Real Estate, in the fall of 2020. And she has been cutting her teeth as a buyer's agent, helping more than 60 families, that's 60 families, find homes across the tri-state area over the past 2 years. Chloe is a graduate of the University of Southern Indiana, where she studied communications and dietetics. Is that right?
Nutrition.
Oh, I tried to get too fancy. Nutrition. She currently resides in Evansville, Indiana, with her young son and her husband, which is me. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Okay.
Our young son.
That's right. I'm telling you, you got to pull the mic just a little closer.
How's that?
Up. Push it up. There you go.
Better?
A little bit more.
Better.
There we go.
Better.
Okay, sweet.
Okay.
So, thank you for doing this with me. You've done a few things already over the last year or so where you talk about real estate, and that can all be found on Dauby's website, or I guess
DaubyRealEstate.com.
their social media or something. So I don't want to necessarily talk to you so much about real estate, like the market and shit, because it's just not that, like, I'm just not that interested in it right now.
It's not that interesting.
Yeah, unless you're interested in it, unless like you're coming for that information. But I think it would be more interesting today to take a different angle and ask you some questions that I personally think I would like to know more about, related to your work and your regular just life.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna take a go at this while our son takes a nap upstairs, and then whenever we hear him wake up, we'll wrap this up if we
We're
don't
gonna stop
already.
because he'll walk out of our bedroom.
That's right. Wondering where we're at.
Yep.
All right, here we go. So I prepared some questions I'm just gonna ask you, and we'll just see where it takes us.
Okay.
So, like I said, I'm not so much interested in the details of the real estate business right this second, but I am interested in why real estate seems to fit your personality so well. And this is your second year, but you had to take a chunk of the first year off because you had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
You had a couple months into real estate, then you had to stop because you had August, and then you had about 3 months where you didn't work, and then you jumped back in pretty heavy after that. But you're projected to make like 3 times the amount of money this year alone than you did at your last job's annual salary at Easter Seals. Why do you think it fits your personality so well, the job that you currently have? What is it about real estate that is like, why are you doing so well in real estate now that you've been doing it for a couple of years?
So we've talked before about like the pillars of what I wanted in a career for myself, and
Which were what?
which were flexible hours, financial freedom, and
Incentivized pay.
incentivized pay. Yes, working hard. Like my personal work ethic is what makes me money. And then I feel like there was another one. But they were just like standard, like there's a lot of freedom. I need that freedom in a career. But I think the bottom line of why real estate fits me so well is because I'm financially driven at the end of the day. I like money. And so working hard, I have like, there's so many growth opportunities in real estate. And then, you know, I don't know if we're going to even go into this at some point, but like the end of this year, I want to buy real estate properties. Like there's always something to keep making more as you invest in real estate and yourself in real estate. So,
And like, I feel like your boss does a good, Dauby does a good job of like, of incentivizing you guys all the time with competitions and referral programs, anything. I mean, I feel like it's constantly something new or something you could take advantage of if you're a driven person.
right.
That can, like, it's right up your alley if you like money.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Trey likes money. He was an engineer, and then he wanted more flexibility. He wanted to be his own boss, so he got into real estate, and now he's doing substantially well. And he knows all of us, especially as buyer's agents, are driven by money. So how to make us work harder? Here's money.
Yeah. Yep. It's true. Well, what was I just thinking? Oh, like, and I feel like after your year or two, like, especially within the last year though, having like known you and like known your team, it seems like there are some people who maybe they thought real estate was what was for them, or your path, the thing that you're doing, like the pathway, like being a buyer's agent, maybe they thought that was the path for them too, but then like, turns out it wasn't.
So, right. So like,
Because it takes certain type. Like,
Where
what are the
I-
characteristics that you have that someone like who it didn't work out for them? What do you have that they don't?
okay, that's what I was going to say. Like where I think you're going with that is, in order to be successful in real estate, first off, you have to be patient. You're not going to pin a house and make money the first day you're there. It's going to take weeks of effort. And I've seen it with a lot of the new girls on our team. I mean, let's backtrack. When I started, it took me, I didn't get paid until 3 months of working into real estate. I didn't.
Which is brutal for someone who checks their bank account 6 times a day.
Again, financially driven, it drove me crazy, but I relied on you, my husband, to not even financially, but like also long game, like always looking for the long game or playing the long game. But patience is the first thing, because you're, like I said, you're not going to make money right off the bat. The second thing is having like, you have to have like a strong, I've said this before, not a mental capacity, but like you have to have a strong head on your shoulders, because there will be times in sales where you're not selling anything. And if you're commission only, that's hard.
Yeah.
But you have to stay level-headed. You have to keep working hard, because soon, I mean, you may not make money for a whole month, but then bam, your check might be $16K the next month. I mean, it's crazy. Like, but that's what's so nice about real estate is the potential, but you have to be able to handle sales, which is
and
up
downs.
and down. Yes,
How
exactly.
do you manage both of those? Because you've said in the past that when things are going well, it's easy to put things in. It's easy to like put the gear in cruise, and then like a couple months goes by and you're like, oh shit, I don't have anything going because I was just cruising while things were going well. But then also when things are not going well, I mean, at the end of the day, doesn't it just come down to habits? Like, doesn't it just come down to like your like work ethic that no matter what, up and down.
Right. You have to stick with it. So like our main priority as agents is lead generating every single day. So that is either door knocking or, which I've done it like once. I want to do it more in the future. But lead generating is getting on the phone, calling at least 25 people every day and just making like phone touches. So like just conversations with people that have been on our website that may or may not be looking to move. If you can consistently lead generate, you can have a very even keel sales experience. But like is that kind of a good way of saying that?
Yeah. Sales experience. I don't know, but like sale. Yeah. Like
a steady sale, steady income, I guess. Steady income.
You get a consistency.
Right. It's consistent. Yeah. You're not like dipping in sales where it's like, oh no, I haven't pinned anything in forever. How am I going to make money next month? It's as you're lead generating, you're setting appointments, you're finding new buyers, you're finding new sellers consistently. But like this year, I had a crazy couple of months. I believe it was like April, May. I was so busy showing houses that I didn't have time to lead generate. I didn't want to put more onto my plate. So July was a really slow month for me. I only pinned, which is like going into escrow under contract. I only pinned 2 homes, which is not very much for me. So that was kind of tough, but I accepted the fact that I needed a break. So I spent more time with my family.
Yeah.
So I accepted the dip in my sales so that I could breathe and restore. And by August, I hit the ground running and I feel like I'm right back at it. I've built up my pipeline of clients that are looking to buy. So I feel much more secure in my position. But July was a really slow month for me, but I needed it. So
yeah. It helped because you were really busy for that April, May time period.
It was stupid. It was so stressful. It was very, very stressful.
Well, and I feel like someone like you who's been working since they were like 14 or something, like who's used to, and I think this is like many people, because this is the way, I mean, a lot of jobs are built, but you're used to the weekly or bi-weekly pay period, so then going to a job where you are incentivized, which is great, but there's no safety net. So then when months are slow, you got nothing coming in, you got to be careful, or at least you got to be disciplined with the money that you do have. Like, okay, we're not going to overspend this month. Like, we're not going to do anything crazy because I don't know when the next house I'm going to sell is. I'm working on it, but...
Well, that's the thing too, is once you get a big check, you can't just spend it all. You can't go shopping, buy a new vehicle. You have to hold on to that money because I think that affects how you handle your dips. When I have a dip, I know that I have savings if I need to take out of that. But if I go and spend all my money and then I have a dip in sales, I'm going to be so anxious. I go into work.
Yeah.
Like I did this my first year where you just, it really puts like there's a toll, like it really puts a toll on you.
Emotional toll.
Yes, an emotional toll on you. You come into the office and you're just not nobody wants to be around somebody that's complaining because that affects your sales too. You just have to accept what is and what isn't and get back to lead generating if your sales are dipping. It's really that simple.
You signed up for. You signed up for, and you're at the mercy of the market as well. So if the market, like when interest rates went up over the summer, people got a little hesitant.
Well, that was July period too. So I didn't have that many clients looking, but also the interest rates were high and
people got a little nervous.
Yeah. And we're going back to school.
Which makes sense. You can't buy it. Your money doesn't go as far. Yeah. That all makes sense. Well, Yeah, I'm glad that was a good answer. I'm glad it fits you well.
Thanks, honey.
Yes. So let's transition from real estate a little bit. We're not on a time crunch, but I do want to get into more about you before we have to stop doing this. So you often say that I never say never anymore because when I say never, I end up doing whatever I said I would never do. Give me a couple examples, and I'm more so just trying to highlight this because I think it's interesting about you. Give me a couple examples of when that happened in your life. You never, like when you said, I'm never going to do that, and then you ended up doing it. Give me a couple examples and tell me how it worked out for you. Give me like 3.
Okay, I was going to say, I feel like there were 3 times, but there's only one that's I can remember, but I know there was way more than that.
What's one?
The first one was, when you asked me, would you ever be in a long distance relationship? No, I would never do that. I did it.
I remember that.
Yeah. And there were a couple other times where I was like, I would never do this or that. And then I went and did it. And I'm like, stop saying never. Because as soon as you say it, you end up doing that. Sorry, I thought I heard August.
No, you'll hear him.
Yeah. But yeah, there were a couple different times where I said never and I ended up doing it. And so now it's ingrained in my brain that if I say never, that means it's going to happen in the future. So stop saying never and just accept. Again, it's this like acceptance of it could happen.
Yeah.
I don't want it to in that moment, but being open to the possibility of whatever I just said to happen at some point. Because I feel like when you cut yourself off, when you're like, I'll never do that, you're so rigid. It's like,
how do you know?
How do you know? Yeah, how do you know? We're always changing. And I think that was my thing, was like, I'm constantly changing as a person. I'm changing my, like, not my values, but I'm changing a lot of like,
direction.
Yes. There's always there's things always changing.
Yes.
That when I say never, I'm like, eh. Well, recently I said I will never get a cat. That might actually be true because I am allergic.
Yes. Why would you? I thought you said dog.
I know. I took back dog because I feel like that's a possibility that we get a dog in our house.
Yeah.
Never a cat. And I will accept that because I physically can't handle a cat.
Yeah.
I'm allergic.
Well, and that's the never thing. The never say never thing is, of course, you're never hopefully going to do meth. You know, that's like, you don't even, that's like a thing that you don't have to say, I will never do meth. But like, I wonder if the other stuff is a bit of like a subconscious thing. Like when you're like, I'll never date long distance. And then after you heard yourself say it, because I didn't push it. Because I didn't even know if I wanted to date. I didn't even know what that meant, you know?
Just asked.
I was just like, curious. Do you think you'd ever date long distance? You know? And which is funny because then we did for about a year.
10 to 11 months, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think starting out in a relationship, all you have is communication anyways.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, people probably move in together a little bit sooner than later.
The physical touch is the hardest part. I mean, that is an important part of a relationship, is being in proximity, spending time together. But if you don't have that, and really at the time, I think it was good for us not to have that, because it was a different approach to a relationship where it was like, we genuinely had to get to know each other.
Yeah, and we had so much going on in our own lives.
Yeah.
Like, I had just turned 21. I had another year of college left.
Yeah.
I didn't want to settle down.
No.
I just told you I never want to do long distance. So in my head, it was like, I liked you. I probably loved you at this point, but I didn't want to, I still wanted to enjoy my last year of college, and you had just moved to LA and you wanted to focus on your music. So it's like, we've got our own things going on right now, but we could come back in the evenings and talk about our day.
Yeah.
And it was like it was literally just having a best friend to support we were supporting each other.
Yeah.
It wasn't this constant like, oh, I miss you. I miss you so, God, life sucks without you. It's like, no, life is better with you in it. But right now I'm focusing on my last year of college and you're focusing on your music. So it was really really special time.
It honestly made me think, because I know that there is not all relationships work out that way where the long distance is a good thing. But I think there are a few relationships. There's like a couple that I'm thinking of. I don't really know them that well, but I'm thinking of a military family where the husband, and I think it's probably a lot easier to be in a long distance relationship in 2022 and be in the military than it was in the 70s or something, where you had to write letters and, phone call. I don't even know if you had phone calls very often, but you can actually do that now and still be in touch. And I think that there's some when I lived in LA and was dating you long distance, there was some greater purpose feeling within me that like I'm doing this for someone back home who I'm falling in love with or who is rooting for me. It's like, but you didn't have to be there. You know what I mean? But I had all the time in the world to like do my thing and be myself. And we didn't tie each other down. Like we still let each other to party and like go out and mingle with other people. It was fine, like it was all part of the distance, it was like understandable. Yeah.
And now I do think at this point it would be really hard. Like if you're thinking military and having kids, like
it'd be hard to go
I wouldn't
away.
want to do that. No. Yeah, that would be. But starting out, it was very fun. I mean, it worked out really well.
Yeah, it fit us.
Yes, exactly.
But that takes me to another question that I think it actually is pretty relevant to the relationship. So, like, when I first met you, I think you were 19 and I was 21. We didn't start dating right away, but I think we were about those ages.
You're not. Are you 2 years older than me? Yeah, you are. Sorry.
Yeah, and as I got to know you, I recognized that you were not one to get involved in emotional games of relationship drama. Like you just never brought that. Maybe a couple times, like we would get into that sort of game. Do you know what I'm saying? Like jealousy or stuff like that. Like feelings of it would come up. But I honestly think it was just residual bullshit from past relationships or movies or like, because it never lasted. It always got squashed or whatever. But like our relationship is pretty well been drama free most of the time that we've been together and going on like 5 years, I guess.
It's been 5 years, yeah.
Yeah. But like, what do you think accounts? Because I don't want to say that, because there are definitely plenty of women or girls and guys who are like this. But like, what do you think account? How did we get so lucky, or how did this happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did it occur? Do we find two people, or we find another person, or two people who can live pretty well drama free? What happened in the beginning? Or like what?
I mean,
how could other people mimic that? Not that we have a perfect relationship, but I really like our relationship.
I owe a lot of that drama free to you. You are not a drama person. You are intentional.
I have been this week on Instagram about politics, which I'm stopping that right away. Gee whiz, losing friends over here. No, I'm just kidding.
It's been a little dramatic, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I knew you loved me. There was no question in my heart that like you cared for me and you had good intentions. And I think that's where it starts, because when you're a genuinely good person, or when you genuinely seek the good of everything, people see that and they trust one another. Yeah. And I saw that in you. And then in return, I treat people not necessarily how I'm treated, but like in return, like I saw all of that goodness in you, that it just made me better. Because I mean, I had past relationships where there was jealousy. Well, there was jealousy because I didn't trust them. They didn't give me any reason to trust them. It didn't feel like they truly valued me for me. Yeah. But when you fell in love with me, I fell in love with myself, because I knew it was true. So I think like I don't know. I think at the core of relationships, having a real love and a connection is the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Having open communication, not getting upset with each other when you speak your truth, or you speak about your past, or you speak about like how you feel about anything.
Yeah.
You've never made me feel like I wasn't enough, or you never made me feel like what I said was stupid, or there was never any of that. You were just constantly, you can be yourself
In this.
whenever
Yeah.
you want. I think that, I don't know, all of those things. If you could just be that, it's a healthy relationship.
Well, and like, I think one thing that I did with, or that we did together, was we built a relationship. So like the relationship is an entity. Like it's something that we both contribute to, and I think for the most part, at least, I mean, especially in the beginning, I mean, as you get married and as you like live together for a while, you start to, you forget things. But like, especially in the beginning, I think we brought our best. Like imagine that the relationship was a project, or like a business, or a house that we're building. It's like we laid the foundation with trust. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing, because we didn't have physical touch. We didn't have being around each other all the time to just like to call that our relationship. Our relationship was literally built on talking and hour-long phone calls,
honesty.
FaceTimes. Yeah, like we would write letters sometimes, like all that. But trust was the foundation, mm-hmm. and then we start doing then we start being around each other more when I moved back to the area. But even then, we did not move in together right away. We waited for about 6 months, got our first place, then got engaged, then moved apart for a little bit right before we got married. Bought a house, or I guess still lived in an apartment, got pregnant, then had a kid and bought a house, all really right within mm-hmm. each other. But I think I read something, or I saw a video or something right in the beginning of our relationship, which really struck me, where it said something about don't make your partner the center of your universe, which I think when you're a kid, that's what you do.
When you're in high school, yes, your relationship
you're fixated on the idea of the other person. You fill in all the gaps of their mm-hmm. inadequacies, and you just assume that they're perfect, and you put them on a pedestal. And the relationship itself could literally suck, but you're so entranced
emotional.
By the idea.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're so emotional that you just I think if you don't ever move out of that, you'll probably continue to fall into that cycle in life, wanting the person that you're with to be somebody that they're not, when really,
and that's
it's
when
just
you should
about,
know firsthand, that's not if you're constantly complaining about your partner for the things that they're not, either A, you need to stop complaining, or B, you're with the wrong person.
Yeah.
Because complaining is not going to fix somebody. You can't change anybody. I mean, people can change financial habits or
diet or health habits, and
or
stuff can change, but
I've seen a lot of people
they have to change themselves.
Yes, they have to change. Yeah. You can't change. That's the key. You can't change them. Is he awake?
No, we're good.
Okay.
It was just probably a good idea to check in for a sec, but
that's a good point. It's you could change someone, but only if they want to be changed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. But I think that's there was another thing that happened in the beginning of our relationship too, which was the first time I had done this, was learned about it. Learned about everything that happened, even when we were getting. So I remember going to the chiropractor, who's always been a big mentor of mine, just cuts through my bullshit and calls me out on stuff without being an asshole, which is the best way. But I told him that we moved in together, got ourselves an apartment. I was all pumped up. He goes, "Oh, you gonna marry her?" And I'm like, "Marry her?
Duh.
I don't know. I mean, we don't have money." I didn't say duh. I was like,
"Well, you should have."
Know. I blew it off because that was too big of a question. But I left there, and he got me thinking. So then That's what it's all about. Plant seeds in people's minds. And then I went to the internet, started YouTubing videos on like, what is marriage? Why do people get married? What's the point? Because my parents got divorced when I was 19 and it left a real sour taste of marriage. I'm like, well, if that's how marriage could end, why would I get involved? That was terrible, you know? But now I realize, no. It's a beautiful institution. It's a beautiful it's a beautiful promise if it's with the right person and if the other person is on board. Then, and the reason it's hard to get divorced is because once you're together and you're built, you're established together, and then you have a kid or you have kids, like you start building a family, you don't want that to be easily broken, because once it breaks, God, it could just really fuck shit up for a lot of people.
Well, you lose that
involved.
trust. Yeah, kids lose the trust in something they've always believed in, which is their parents' love.
The foundation of love in your life can evaporate, Then you just have to rebuild it. But man, how are you going to tell a 4-year-old, hey, just rebuild the structure of love in your life? Like, you can't do that. Anyway.
You can try.
God, I just got on a rant about love. This is supposed to be an interview with you, and here I am preaching.
You're having your own podcast.
Jesus. Thanks for listening, everybody. All right, I got to ask you this. So, as long as I've known you, you've had a spark, okay? A type of energy in two directions. One, that when you walk into a room, you don't know anybody, but you will talk to everybody. You just that's how you've always been. And I was not like that, especially when I met you. I'm getting more like that now, but I'm more of a small group kind of guy. I'm more of like a 2 or 3, let's hang out, or one-on-one conversation.
Much more one-on-one for you.
It's hard for me to walk into a group. I would more so stay home than go to a big gathering. Although I do enjoy them now. Anyway, okay.
Because you have to.
That's right. Yeah, that was one of the prerequisites of dating or whatever. We'll go to family stuff. Anyway, okay. So, but you have a type of energy and a spark that seems to push you forward towards future-oriented goals. You always, so whether it's work or finances or raising our son, you always think about creating a bigger and better future, something bigger and better than right now. But you've told me that, which I know this too, but you've said your parents were hard workers. They're people of integrity. They do what they say. They're strong people. I know your parents to be that. But you weren't necessarily raised to be a go-getter, to have that more mentality.
Right. It wasn't so much more. It was work hard, but my parents were always happy with what they had in that time frame. I never felt that it was okay, what's next?
Yeah.
What's that next thing? Which is actually really cool too, because that I feel for those that don't know, I have 3 siblings. For the 4 of us kids, we're all happy people.
Yeah.
Because my parents are happy people. And I feel
genuinely comfortable in your own
Yes.
skin.
Yeah.
And okay, you're in your heads, you're okay. Yeah.
Most of the time, yeah.
Right.
Most of the time.
Of course, there's,
Yeah.
exceptions, but
at the end of the day, people, I would say all of us are very happy, and we've got a very close family. And that was probably my parents' priority. It was just to raise us kids to be good people. And my dad worked hard so that we could have the money to, go to Catholic schools, and so that they could donate to the nonprofit groups that they wanted to. That was their. So
they
I guess
are people of giving.
Yeah.
For sure.
I guess what I'm trying to say, they're not financially driven. They're just driven to meet those needs of raising the family that they want, and then having having the certain lifestyle that they do, but I guess they're not financially driven. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. But what's funny is even them not being financially driven, they're well off
They're
people.
well off. Yeah.
Like beautiful home, beautiful family. They don't have their needs are met.
Exactly.
You know?
They
They
don't
have great
get
habits
anything.
in terms of like, I mean, they're just not in trouble a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like in like dire situations, like
They're smart people.
and they can take care of people, other
Yeah.
people and stuff like that. But where did it happen to where you're like, I want more? I mean, you're just kind of relentless when it comes to
I think
you want
it's
more.
yeah, I think it started probably in high school. It was a group of people I hung out with. They came from, well, one of my best friends did in high school came from a family that had a lot of money, but I was never driven at that point like, oh, I want her life. It was everybody in my friend group at that time were very driven. I think I always have had some type of drive in me, but I recall in high school, they were in National Honor Society. Oh, I want to be in National Honor Society. But then I was naturally like hardworking at getting better grades. I always knew that because like I would compare myself with my older sister, and she just was naturally good at stuff. I had to work a little bit harder.
Yeah.
She didn't work as hard as I did, but she would always end up maybe doing a little bit better than me at whatever it may be. But I think it started in high school. And then like even recently, as I started making more money, it's like as money comes in, you're able to dream a little bit more about opportunities. And I've even noticed myself the last couple of weeks, like just dreaming so much for what could be. And I love it.
And
But
it's not so
I don't
much
know where it comes from.
But it's not so much greed. Like you're
No.
not saying I want to, like we drive cars that are like 13 years old. My car's like 15. You know, it's not like we're like a bunch of fancy shit. My phone sucks, you know, like
Don't care about my phone. Don't care about my car.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that like it's not greed. It
No.
doesn't feel greedy. It literally feels, that's what I'm saying. It's like future oriented, but it seems pretty good. Like it seems genuinely pretty good, you know? And I think that even starts with your friends in high school, you know, like, you know, so before like they thought for runners, breaking the 5-minute mile was going to be impossible. And then after the first person broke the 5-minute mile, now all of a sudden a bunch of people. So it's almost like you grew up not even realizing that there could be this other, you could get more, you know, but then being around these kids in high school who did come from more, you're like, oh shit, that's a possibility. Not, like you said, not that I want a bigger house and a bigger pool, like all that shit. That's not necessarily your drive. It's I can be more though than just what I'm at. I could be in the honor society. I could make, you know, money. I could do these things.
That's so true. I'm the type of person, like if you can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah.
So I think when I saw other people doing it, that unlocked something like, oh, I can do these things. I can be better. And it even relates to real estate now. I had a goal, a 5-year goal. I started real estate, I guess, 24, 25. My 5-year goal was at 30, I'd make 6 figures a year. I literally am about to make 6 figures this year, 4 years in advance. And so that's why I'm dreaming, because I'm realizing that I'm unlocking so many abilities of myself that I'm like, I can do anything. Like I can do a lot more than I thought that I could.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, so now I've already like unleashed that. So now what kind of family can we build? Like now we want multiple kids. Now we want, we've always wanted multiple kids, but like what's life going to look like in a couple of years when we have 2 kids? Where do we want them to go to school? Like we have more freedom in dreaming.
Yes.
It's not like, our kids have to go to this school. They have to do this because we can't afford it. We can't, like, this is opportunity just keeps opening and opening. And it's cool.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is beautiful.
Well, and it's not to say that you have to have money to dream big or to do these things.
No.
However, when you do have money, it is very clear that you have more options. Like you have have more choices, which is also a burden in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like with great, what is it? With great
Responsibility, with great knowledge or great
it's to whom much is given, much is
required.
To whom much is given,
much is.
I mean, everybody knows what the fuck we're talking about. But
yeah, but that's
much
right.
is requested.
Yeah, required. I don't know.
Much is. Yeah,
Wanted.
Help us out here, damn it.
Yeah,
we're having a mutual brain fart.
Wes, I think that goes back to like, you've always been a dreamer. You've always been like, and I think that's why we work so well together, because I'm practical. I'm very practical. So when I'm making more money, I can begin dreaming more. You've never had to make any amount of money to dream the way that you do. You've always been a dreamer. Whether you had $0 in your bank account, you dreamed the biggest dream that you could possibly dream. Always.
Which is funny, because when I didn't have money, I was more of a risk taker, which I guess kind of makes sense because you got nothing to lose. But then as responsibility is gained, as wealth is gained, not that we have wealth, but I'm just saying, as you grow up, you start to have stuff to lose. So I've balanced out the other way. Like, I'm more practical now than I was when I was younger.
And I'm probably more of a risk taker because more money's coming in. It is funny how that's very different, because you become more conservative. I'm extremely frugal when money's not coming in.
Yeah. You can lock down the gates.
I can lock them down.
Start rationing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, that's what it takes. You know, it's like the idea that when stuff's not coming in, it represents like the idea of winter. Winter's coming. You know, let's stock up on our supplies. Like, let's batten down the hatches. Let's buckle down until we make it through this period of, you know, when stuff's not working out, when stuff's not happening. Then when summer comes, when things start blossoming again, okay, now we can get more relaxed. We can spend a little more. We can do more fun stuff. But I mean, I like the ebb and the flow. I think it's good. I enjoy it. I know it's scary sometimes, but it's like, then when you get through it, you're like, oh yeah, we're just riding the waves. We're just doing the thing.
I'm not like a routine person. I don't love routine. I like change. So it depends. I like it in a little bit. Like, I like it a little bit. I like to schedule some things. I like to have a good idea of what's going on. I'm not a spontaneous like, hey, let's go on a trip this weekend. No, I need like 2 weeks in advance at least so I can wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
But I agree. I like ebb and flow because I need the ebb and flow to keep me intrigued.
Yes.
If it's the same thing every single day, I get so bored. I don't like doing the same workout every single day, except for yoga, but it's always different. Yeah. You know, but yeah, I like ebb and flow.
And it's funny that, like, what's cool about your job, I feel like I've established this similar thing with songwriting, but it's like, for you, prospecting, is it prospecting? Lead generation?
Lead generating,
whatever.
Prospecting, all this.
Yeah, whenever you're doing your one thing every day, it's like, I time block this amount of time for this thing. That is routine. That is the same thing. But that's only for half your day. You know what I mean? Like, maybe your morning, you're making phone calls, trying to get new clients. Then the rest of the day, it's so different, you know? Then you might have a closing. You might go show some houses. You might go show a house that you're like, holy shit, this house is sick. Or you might go into a house that smells like cat piss.
Yeah. Oh my God. I knew you were gonna say
yes.
That. Ugh, it's the worst. Complaint. And that's why I say I'll never have a cat in my house. That's literally why. I cannot.
The piss. Well, cats piss everywhere. I had a roommate with a cat, not in college, but right out of college in Miami. And his cat pissed on everything. But that's just what the cat does. The cat pisses on everything because
it needs to be outside.
It's territorial. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was miserable. Anyway,
no offense to y'all cat lovers.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of you can keep your house very clean. I've just been in a lot of homes of people that cannot. It literally like makes me sick. So.
Yep. I think a lot of people would agree.
Yeah.
So,
anyways,
we'll kind of wrap it up here in a sec. But I wanna ask you another question about just who you are today. What are some things that you're interested in these days? Like, what are some things that light you up? You know, you're 26, live in America. Auggie's awake. Shit.
we can come grab him. I'll go grab him.
Pause. Okay, go get him. All right, everybody, welcome to the show. Wes Luttrell.
Say hello.
Hi, buddy. Excited? Nervous? Hi, buddy. Did you have a good nap?
Did you nap good?
Okay. We're just going to skip to the last segment, okay? We'll just have fun with the last segment. Okay, bring the mic close. There you go.
Yep.
Okay, Auggie's going to help you with this last segment. Okay, this last segment is called Don't Think, Just Act, okay? So, I'm going to rifle off some terms, some names, some ideas, and you tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Okay? Auggie's going to help you. All right, I'm going to just say one-word answers, right, Chloe?
Okay.
Ready? Selling sunset.
The first word.
Yeah, don't think. You're supposed to just
I was gonna
act.
say love it.
Love it. Shoes.
Love them as well.
Can't get enough, can you? Trey Dauby.
Leader.
Romantic novels.
I enjoy them.
Bank account.
Thriving.
Checking it. I would have said checking it 5 times every hour. Okay. Yoga.
Daily.
Multiple offer situation.
Suck.
August.
Love bug.
Tame Impala.
Rock stars.
Friends.
I was gonna say besties.
All right. Okay. Any closing remarks before we wrap this up? Because we got to move on to other
you want to
shit.
say bye? You want to say hi and bye to the podcasters?
Podcast listeners.
Podcast listeners. Hey, you want to say hi? Hello. No, you're being
He's
shy.
a little stage fright.
Yeah, he just woke up from a nap.
Any closing remarks?
What was the last question you were going to ask me before?
Oh, I was going to ask, what are you interested in these days? What lights you up? You see something on the internet or you read a book. Like, what are you excited about? What are you interested in? Like, I'm interested in songwriting and other bullshit.
You know, I've just started getting back into yoga. I love yoga. Love it. Hot yoga specifically is my jam.
All right, you love hot yoga.
Love hot yoga. Love shows like Selling Sunset. I just love watching people doing real estate in an area where they're selling $1 million homes to $106 million. It's crazy.
3% of 106 million is what, like
3 point something. 3.2.
Fat payday.
God.
3-something $million.
It's just ridiculous. I love reading romantic and
Dramatic.
horror, like horror, not horror, but like mystery drama books. They keep me intrigued. And health is always something. And that's another thing too. Like, just like when more money's coming in, it's like, yes, I get to buy bone broth.
And supplements that
Supplements.
normally don't, or go back to yoga, which isn't
Yes.
necessarily cheap.
No, it's $100 unlimited a month. So it's like, yes, I get to take care of myself. Again, opportunities. And because everyone says it's expensive to be healthy, and it can be, but you know, at the end of the day, you just buy your produce, super cheap.
And cook it.
And cook
yourself.
it. Yeah, you have to do it yourself, but that's still cheaper than going out and getting. And something that I've
Arby's.
noticed just recently, like, I love like filling up my time with family and friends recently. Like that, like spending weekends with people is so much fun, especially people with other kids. I love like having August, you know, have friends. It's just cute.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's fun. You know, you get your adult time, but then the kids, August, please don't touch that.
Hey.
I feel like I'm a pretty, I don't know. I don't have everything that I like is stuff that I've always liked. It's an ebb and flow. I'm really like, I kick ass at yoga sometimes, and other times I take a year off. Same with reading. Sometimes I read, sometimes I watch Netflix, but I don't have anything right now that I feel like is a big hobby of mine other than, working and raising August and soon to be.
Yeah, you're on the grind. You're a young parent.
I'm a young parent.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you for being a guest on the Mining in the Foothills podcast. If you are interested in following Chloe, they can find you on Instagram.
Yep, Chloe _Amelia, 2 E's, 2 I's.
There you go.
Chloe
else?
Amelia Luttrell on Facebook. I like to post properties that Dauby Real Estate has listed and just some marketing updates here and there when I feel like it.
There you go. Yep.
And this is my address. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, don't give them that.
If you need to come and see me personally.
Yeah, if you want to buy a house, hit up Chloe. And if you're in the Evansville, Southern Indiana area,
all the way up to Princeton, over to Posey.
Hit her up.
County.
Let's do it.
Warwick County. Yeah, baby.
You want to buy a house? You want to sell a house? Let's get it going. All right. Thanks, honey.
Thanks, honey.
Did a good job.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to today's podcast with Chloe Luttrell. Please follow, subscribe, all that deal, and share it. What'd you say? Okay. Thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your week or a great weekend.